Are you currently navigating the absolute labyrinth of job loss? Look, I know it's incredibly overwhelming. It really is. But hey, take a deep breath. Today, we're going to learn exactly how to secure your financial safety net by filing for unemployment in Kansas right from the comfort of your couch. Welcome to The Explainer. Losing a job brings just a total whirlwind of stress. And honestly, the very last thing you need right now is some complicated bureaucratic puzzle when you're just trying to pay your bills. I completely get it. That is exactly why I'm here. Think of this explainer as your clear, step-by-step guide to claiming the temporary financial assistance you absolutely deserve. You've got this, and I'm going to walk you through every single step of the way.
Okay, let's dive right into our roadmap for today. We're going to cover an intro to unemployment benefits, preparing your application, the step-by-step process itself, avoiding those common mistakes, what happens after filing, and finally, troubleshooting and support.
All right, Section 1, Intro to Unemployment Benefits. So, simply put, unemployment benefits are a state-operated insurance program. They're basically designed to provide temporary, partial financial assistance to replace lost wages for workers who find themselves unemployed through absolutely no fault of their own. Now, the Kansas Department of Labor, or KDOL, is the state organization that manages your claims and ultimately determines your eligibility. Knowing who's actually handling your info is the very first step to feeling secure in this whole process. They are the ultimate authority here. Now, let's bust some bureaucratic jargon right out of the gate. When you apply, the state has to figure out if you actually qualify, and if so, how much you're going to get. To do this, they look at your past earnings during what they call a base period. Honestly, it's just a one-year window. Specifically, it's the first 4 of the last 5 completed calendar quarters right before you file. So if you earned enough wages from insured employment during that specific time frame, boom, you pass the monetary eligibility test.
Moving right along, let's hit Section 2, Preparing Your Application.
Okay, before you even think about touching that online application, you need to gather your information. Starting without it is literally the main reason portals time out and cause massive anxiety. Do yourself a huge favor right now. Pause this explainer and go grab these exact items. You absolutely must have your social security number and, if you worked in Kansas, your state ID or driver's license. You're also going to need a complete 18-month work history. That means names, mailing addresses, and the precise start and end dates for literally every employer you had in the last year and a half. Why? Well, the state legally requires this to establish employer tax liability and verify your wages. If you're missing info here, your claim's going to get delayed. Oh, and grab your bank routing and account numbers if you want direct deposit.
All right, Section 3, the step-by-step process. With your documents neatly stacked right in front of you, the actual online application on the state's modernized system is, thankfully, incredibly straightforward. It uses really easy-to-understand language, and it's designed to let you file at your own pace. Step 1. Head directly over to kansasui.gov. Step 2. Create a new online account. And side note here, even if you've used older state portals in the past, you've got to create a brand new profile on this upgraded system. Step 3. Input all that personal and 18-month work history we just gathered. And Step 4. Submit your claim for review. Easy enough, right? Now, I cannot stress this practical tip enough. Write down your user ID, your case-sensitive password, and your 4-digit PIN, and keep them in a super safe, secure place. Seriously, do not share them with anyone. You are going to need these exact credentials every single week to file your ongoing certifications, which, by the way, is how you actually get paid. Let's transition into Section 4, Avoiding Common Mistakes. Small errors on your application or your weekly filings can trigger manual reviews by an adjudicator, or, honestly, worse, painful overpayment penalties where you literally have to pay the state back. One of the most common causes of these super painful overpayments is hiding part-time or temporary income while claiming benefits. Just never do this. The right move is to always report your gross earnings. That's your earnings before taxes and deductions, and you need to report them accurately every single week. Continuing to claim full benefits while working without reporting those hours is a massive red flag, and it can actually lead to fraud penalties. Another absolutely critical area is the reason your job ended in the first place. To be eligible, you got to be unemployed through no fault of your own, so like a layoff. But if you were discharged or fired for misconduct, which Kansas basically defines as a violation of a duty you reasonably owed to your employer, you're likely going to be disqualified. The exact same thing goes for voluntarily quitting. Well, unless you can prove you had a legally valid work-related reason for leaving, like officially documented unsafe working conditions. Okay, Section 5. What happens after filing? So, congratulations, you hit submit.
But your work isn't quite over yet. Let's pivot to the maintenance phase, what you have to do next to actually see that money. Here is your timeline so you know exactly what to expect, because managing your financial expectations here is absolutely key. Week 1 is your unpaid waiting week. By day 14, a mandatory program called My Reemployment Plan is due. And assuming everything is correct on your end and there are zero eligibility issues, your regular payments begin in the following weeks. It typically takes about 2 to 3 business days to hit your account after you file your weekly certification.
So, the really crucial point here is understanding this waiting week. Kansas imposes a mandatory 1-week unpaid period right at the start of your benefit year. It pays absolutely nothing, zero. However, you must still file a weekly certification for this week. If you forget or just fail to file a claim for it, it will not count as your waiting week, and you will totally mess up your future payment schedule. Don't skip it.
Next up on the to-do list is the My Reemployment Plan, or MRP. Within 14 days of being notified, you're required to log into your automatically created account over at kansasworks.com. You have to upload or create a resume, and, this is super important, you must actually click the button to publish it so employers can find you. You also got to complete a job search plan. If you fail to do this whole shebang within 14 days, Kansas Works reports you straight to the Department of Labor, and your benefits are immediately suspended.
3. That is the magic number. You have got to complete 3 work search activities every single week to maintain your eligibility. And at least 2 of these have to be actual job applications or resume submissions. The third one can be something a little different, like attending a job fair or maybe taking a resume writing course. Also, you have to maintain a written log of all these activities. If the state suddenly asks for documentation and you can't provide it, yeah, your benefits could be straight up denied.
So, what's the actual financial baseline here? Well, for claims filed between July 1st, 2025 and June 30th, 2026, the weekly benefit amount in Kansas ranges from $159 up to a maximum of $637. This is calculated at 4.25% of your wages in the highest paid quarter of your base period. And, as it stands right now, you can receive these benefits for up to 16 weeks during your benefit year.
Almost at the finish line. Section 6. Troubleshooting and support.
Look, if you hit a wall, get locked out of your account, or just face some totally unexpected denial, don't panic. There is a dedicated support system ready to jump in and help you out. Here is the contact info for the Kansas Unemployment Contact Center. Do notice that their operating hours are a bit quirky. Monday through Wednesday and Friday they're open from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., but on Thursdays they close a little bit earlier, at 3:15 p.m. If you experience any difficulties at all filing your weekly certifications, you have to call them right away. Because if you don't report an issue at the exact time it happens, you might actually lose credit for that entire week.
Oh, and a super quick note on payments. If you didn't select a direct deposit to your bank account during your initial application, your unemployment is going to be paid out via a physical U.S. Bank Relia card. Please just have a little patience here. Receiving this debit card in the regular mail can take up to 10 business days after your very first payable week is processed by the state.
As we start to wrap things up, please keep this quick professional disclaimer in mind. This explainer is a thoroughly researched guide designed to help you navigate this process. However, you absolutely must verify all final details, binding policies, and your own personal eligibility directly with the official Kansas Department of Labor resources over at kansasui.gov. At the end of the day, they are the final authority on your claim.
You've gathered your documents, you've completely navigated the online portal, and you are taking exactly the right steps to safeguard your financial future. You've officially built your safety net. So now, take a breath, look ahead, and ask yourself, what is your next great career move? You've actually got the breathing room to figure that out now. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and seriously, best of luck on your reemployment journey.